Hello and welcome to the Totally Touhou podcast. I'm your host Moobaful, and today we've got a pretty special episode. We're with three members, well, no, not three, but three unusual members of Bayhou that are not usually with us. So James and Magus, I'm sure you guys already know. Magus is our resident degenerate and likes to break the rules.
Wow.
And James here is the Google guy and will only ever be known as Google guy.
Why?
But
I work for Google too.
Yeah, we have another Google guy here.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Logic.
Well, I go by logically sound on most things, except for Reddit, where I go as wrong on the internet, because I read XKCD once.
Everyone is wrong on the internet.
I've been into Touhou since about 2013. And I found out about Touhou mostly through going to the panel at FanimeCon.
All right, what about you, P-Deck?
Okay, hello, I am P-Dactyl. I have a cosplay page, P-Dactyl-san, if you want to go on there. I barely do anything, though. Although, if you want to see trolling or photoshops...
Oh god, the photoshops.
What? You what?
I'll probably post them later, but it's okay. But I've been a fan of Touhou since like 2009, 2010, since Bad Apple thing came out. Probably the worst part of the wave of new fans to come in, but it's okay. It was part of the TouhouCon debacle thing to the end.
What about you, Shoot?
I've been to the series since December 2009. I got into it via the games because I was looking for something challenging, so I jumped right into EOSD Lunatic and have never looked back since.
Wow, someone who actually plays the game, unlike us, right?
I try, but I'm really bad.
Fans of Touhou playing the games?
I'm a filthy secondary, though. I don't score, so I'm not playing.
I mean, I used to play the games. I used to stream them on Twitch, actually.
Filthy secondaries. No, I'm joking.
So yeah, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the group that you five are a part of called Bayhou, which is a fairly large Touhou community in the Bay Area. Shoot, how did this all start?
Well, it goes back to Fanime 2010. This is the first year I roomed with a guy I know off Endeavor Forum. And this is the first time I had gotten to the community aspects of Touhou. So I went to the cosplay gathering. It was quite big. And I felt after between that and there were two Touhou panels at the convention that here in NorCal, we have seasonal general cosplay gatherings, which are quite big. So I felt that we could just do one that focuses on Touhou, the Touhou community specifically. So I just started out, and I was fortunate to bump into a couple people via other websites, and just started organizing the first event. And the first event we did was at the Hokkaido Gardens in Saratoga. That's where we always go for August, because that's our inaugural event, so it's a tradition. And we go to Gaba Karaoke, and we go to Ringer Hut, which is a casual Japanese restaurant that's really good. And there's hundreds of those restaurants in Japan, but only a few in America, and only one that's not in Hawaii.
So it all started as a cosplay thing?
Not precisely but I mean, we did do a cosplay photo shoot at the first gathering. So that was just kind of the inaugural event.
All right. So for those of you guys who've never heard of Bayhou, it might sound kind of strange, but a lot of Touhou fan groups exist, but they don't organize or meet up as often, as frequently, and with as large of a following as Bayhou. And you guys are just based in the Bay Area, or is it just San Francisco?
The whole Bay Area.
Whole Bay
The
Area.
entirety of it? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got people coming down from Sacramento sometimes, and
Wait, we do?
I think
Holy
yeah.
crap.
I mean, Ian
Wow.
Ian is in Sacramento.
yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
holy crap. I didn't
It's,
know.
He drives really far. Although
It's a
for
bit
some reason
far.
I found him at Best Buy one day at near my house, and I live in Marin County. I'm like, wait, Ian, what are you doing here?
He was doing his job.
Yeah, he was doing his job, but I was really confused. I'm like, wow, okay.
Wait, he works at a Best Buy and
No,
Oh no, he works IT stuff, and he was fixing stuff for Best Buy. He just happened to be at that Best Buy helping them with stuff.
wow, that's some dedication.
What a coinky
So what do you guys generally say you do together?
Well, we go out and we just hang out and chill, and we eat good food together. Is kind of the basic summation, I would say.
Yeah, I think that to put it in other words, we do what a lot of other communities would do, like communities that meet offline. So we'll get together to go to a restaurant, or we'll get together to enjoy a fun activity together. Like we've sometimes met up at cosplay gatherings that are held in Northern California, or we've gone to festivals, things like that. We're always trying to find new places to go and inject a little bit of variety into what we do.
Hiking.
But I wouldn't say that we specifically aim to do Touhou specific things every single time that we meet. We're more like a social group or a community that has Touhou in common, but we're more about just meeting up and allowing people to, form friendships and have fun together.
Most of the things we do aren't exactly Touhou. They're like, oh, we play board games or just hang out in general.
So is there any sort of process that you use to organize all your meetings and gatherings?
We don't have a formal process. Usually, I will come up with an idea, and I will then discuss the idea on staff chat, and then we will make it happen in some form.
To say a little bit more, I think that our process of organizing events has been a very iterative thing. So before I came into it, a lot of stuff was being coordinated, I think, via Steam chat, was it? Shoot.
It was something real shitty because none of us wanted to use Facebook, and it was just awful. And our
Right,
average
although there
I
was
didn't even know
for
you
it.
guys have a Steam a Steam group. But then again, I never do any of the Steam groups.
I barely
We
use
used to have the
Steam
Steam
chat.
thing.
I
Sorry.
don't even know that you. I don't even bother with Steam group stuff. So yeah.
Same.
I mean, none of our group does either, so you're not alone.
No, sorry.
it's
Use
just
Discord.
Use Facebook or
Yeah, Facebook events.
Facebook
and,
is the
Discord.
most common way
Yeah.
we get the other non-staff members involved.
Right.
Every
So-
single time they come up with a new event, I just see an invitation on Facebook. I'm like, "Ooh."
Yes, we put the event invites out on Facebook, although we've been thinking of changing that because Facebook has been actively detrimental sometimes to organizing an offline community.
Gotta agree.
But that's our main community hub, so that's what we've been using. And as for how we actually organize things now, so before it was very informal, people were just chatting with each other and stuff was getting posted on Facebook, but now that we have a Discord server of our own, we have a staff channel where we can discuss things. And at this point, we're experimenting with coming up with a few months worth of meetup dates all at once and posting them so that people can try and keep their calendars clear for us if they want.
That is indeed
Wow.
incredibly useful.
a few months. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we
impressive.
plan out pretty far. Shoot has actually been really good at keeping all of that straight. So kudos to
Yeah,
Shoot.
especially
for,
with other events, like there's AOD
Oh,
next
yeah.
month. We were trying to schedule all of our events outside of that, actually. It's actually really helpful, too.
I used to go to AOD several times before. I don't know. I'm not just a big fan of how small
I
it
haven't
is.
been there since I left, actually.
Honestly,
Wait,
Uh,
what is EOD?
AOD is a tiny anime convention in like one hotel in San Francisco.
It's abbreviated as Animation on Display. It's pretty much anything about animation. It's technically considered an anime con, I guess. Although it was used to be in Japantown, it now moved to the Santa Clara.
It's not in Japantown anymore?
Yeah, it's big.
Not anymore.
That's a pretty big move.
Ooh.
But it was Food Con. I really liked the food.
Oh yeah, I know, it was really fun. Who needs a dealer's room when you're Japantown anyway?
Exactly.
That sounds great. Japantown. With
yeah.
an anime con.
It was
have
pretty
two
awesome.
of them. We have two
You have
Japantowns.
two?
Yeah, because there's
Wow.
one in San Francisco and there's one in San Jose. I think most of the big events happen in the San Francisco Japantown, but it really is such a privilege of being in the Northern California area that we have all of these sort of Japanese cultural elements available. We even talked a little bit about Hakone Gardens, which is actually a garden that was designed and built based on designs of old Japanese tea gardens. And it's a really beautiful place. It's one of the oldest Japanese-style gardens in the USA, I think.
Oh, now I want to go to the SF Japanese garden now.
I do want to do an event there sometime myself, actually.
It's pretty expensive. I mean, like, going there is not expensive, but I mean, like, buying stuff there is, well, I guess anything you buy in those kinds of touristy areas are pretty expensive.
Can be expensive. Then again, I live directly north of it.
So what big events are you guys looking forward to soon?
Well, for our next event, we're going to gather up at a friend's house March 25th, and we're going to listen to Touhou Ranges and just hang out and chill and be in SF. We're going to eat a good meal out at a place within walking distance of his house and just have a quiet evening in.
Yeah, he's a real music buff, and so he has a 110-watt studio monitor speaker that he wants to listen to this stuff on. It's going to be like absolutely fantastic for listening to Touhou Ranges.
Oh, my dream.
In terms of the big events, though, of course, we're definitely looking forward to FanimeCon in San Jose during the Memorial Day weekend. Sandy tends to organize the cosplay gatherings, and
That's me.
You're doing that again this year, right?
Yeah, I am. Although I deactivated my Facebook, but I'm coming back tomorrow. I pretty much plan everything for the Fanime Soho gatherings.
And I help her out with that too.
Especially with food. Yeah, very helpful. And I'm like, what are we doing for food? And I don't know the San Jose area.
Let me just
I don't know the
say-
San Jose area as much, so shoot timing helps me a lot. Especially I live in Marin County, so I'm like, what's San Jose?
We're also going to be trying to organize the Touhou fan panels for FanimeCon as well. So we're really looking forward to submitting our panel registrations and seeing if we can get that in there.
When is Fanime?
So
Fanime
it's
is
Memorial
during
Day
the Memorial
weekend.
Day weekend, May 26th to 29th, I believe.
Oh, it's pretty soon.
Oh no, 7
I'm
costumes.
excited. They have all those cosplays to work on still, though, Sandy.
You know, rip me, rip everyone.
How many people do you expect to have at the cosplay gathering?
Usually I would say about 20 or so. On average, it's been about 30.
Yeah, it'll be
sometimes.
somewhere within that range.
Yeah, within that range.
It's
Like in
it's-
terms of
decently sized.
cosplayers, it's about 20 cosplayers, about even actually, from what I remember.
Outside of the normal stuff you do, like hanging out at people's houses and listening to music on big stereo systems, what are some of the quirks of the community that you don't see very often?
So I've become a meme.
Yeah,
This happened during...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We've got another meme here
yeah,
too. Meet James.
I need to Photoshop
I
James
think
soon.
we've all seen our share of that.
Yeah, I feel like James is the OG local community meme. But last year at Fanime, there was a picture of P-Duck in her Seija cosplay, and I was in the background looking towards somewhere where I'd laid down my camera equipment because I like to take cosplay photography. And it just looked absolutely like I was staring at her ass.
Wow.
Literally, the emoji's literally
And
titled
I noticed
that
it.
ass.
I noticed it first, and I turned it into a bit of an image macro. And then Sandy took that and ran with it, and it's
Just
actually a
photoshopped
custom
it on
emote.
everything.
She'll never let it go now.
I'll never let it go like John memes.
She photoshopped it on another meme we had with Bali regarding why Kanako cannot play Danmaku.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no
Don't
wonder he
play
can't
card
win.
games because
She has a mirror.
mirrors. How
Yeah,
do
one of
mirrors
our-
work?
One of our members was playing Danmaku and had a mirror on because he was dressed up as Kanako, and the cards were being reflected in the mirror, and we actually managed to get a
Wow.
picture of that perfect
Great.
reflection. But then once Sandy actually replaced the reflection in the mirror with that face of mine that I just described before.
I am not
The actual
sorry.
Facebook page is just a bunch of Touhous with your face chopped onto no?
It was,
It
but
is.
just recently
Degenerates.
Oh.
deactivated her Facebook account, and so I had
Oh,
to
oops.
put back an old one. No, it's not your fault. That's just Facebook being Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
And there's always that one person I made 170 photoshops of.
What?
Oh man,
170?
I think it's 170. Let me check my folder.
Wow.
the legend of John Kun.
Legend
Yes.
of John Kun.
So who is John Kuhn?
John Kun is he is actually from the Bay Area, Toho area. So he's technically part of us, but he's currently living in SoCal. He was one of my coworkers for TohoCon, and he posted something, and they started posting pictures of him. And then after a while, it's like it seems like a lot of fun torturing him. The end.
I feel the same about James.
175.
Curse you, Moob.
It's okay. I'll make more of James soon.
No,
Please no. No more.
I don't think we.
No one is
I don't
safe.
think
You're the one who perpetuated your own meme, man.
it's
No
your
one
own
is
fault.
safe.
It is your own
Yeah.
fault.
Anything else that was out of the ordinary or strange?
One of our members actually used to show up to most of our gatherings dressed in cosplay as Marisa, even though we were going to a public place and it wasn't really somewhere where cosplay would be
It was
expected.
just sort of all over the place.
And was on our Discord as Love Colored Magic, and actually introduced himself to people as Marisa.
Oh my
We didn't
god.
learn this person's real name until very recently.
Oh yeah, I
That
never
is-
really
that's
learned
some
that
This is
person.
a pretty big dedication.
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
And
mean,
during
it's-
the potlucks and everything, brought us mushrooms to eat.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
God.
Never break
wasn't part of
character.
this.
Never break character.
Wow.
Those mushrooms are good, though.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I want to
I
say
never
you were
had
there
them.
when we picked him up from the train station, and that one woman was walking by. And she was like, "Oh, I see."
I see.
I see what?
I see. What do I see?
I mean, to any person who doesn't know of Touhou,
Yeah.
Marisa could just look like a normal witch cosplay.
That's true.
She kind of looks like a maid without the hat
Yeah,
sometimes.
the maid witch.
Maid witch.
Does he have the broom too?
Oh yeah, he had
yes.
a broom.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Definitely a maid, right? That's
Okaeri nazaimase, goshujin-sama!
oh my god. Oh.
It's okay. I'm part of the Fanimade Cafe at Fanime as well. It's a lot of fun.
I was thinking about going to the maid cafe at Anime Expo this year, but I remembered how much it costed to get in.
I've heard
Oh.
things
It's
about the
crazy.
Too much.
regarding the quality of it as well.
I never went to that one.
Not positive
No.
things, mind you.
Yeah.
But
Same. I
things.
heard not so positive things from AX, but from my friends, they said, yeah, Fanime Maid Cafe, best maid cafe.
Just like Fanime's
Aw,
best
I'm jealous now.
convention.
To be
Best
honest,
con.
I never went to. I haven't been to Fanime. I think next one is probably gonna be my first. Time.
really?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I've only been
Join
to.
us.
I've only been to AX. I've been going to AX regularly since like 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
Fanny
And
Moo
you've never
Best
gone to
Con.
Fanime.
What was that?
No wonder
Fanny Moo
you're,
Best Con.
so no wonder you are unfamiliar with smaller cons. Sweet Jesus.
Is Fanime even that small of a con?
No,
No, it's not.
It's
No,
the
I was talking
largest,
about AOD. AOD
it's the
is
lar-
tiny.
AOD is tiny.
Well, it's
And,
grown though.
Anime is the
I don't know, I
biggest
haven't been to-
anime convention in the Bay Area, so
In the Bay Area, and AX is just like the biggest in the country.
no, that's Comic Con, San Diego.
I mean, anime in general.
Oh,
Yeah.
For
yeah,
anime
AX is
cons,
the
it would
biggest
still
one.
be.
Comic
I thought
Con
it would
is
be
like a
Otakon.
general, this kind of culture. nerd
So,
culture convention.
So for your guys' Bayhou group, how would anyone just join in? They just go to an event. That's it.
I actually joined since I moved here recently within the last year. I just found them on Facebook. Just
That really
straight
is
up
the best way right now.
And I just
Yeah.
found it out through James because he told me about it. Oh, they do events here. Might as well.
Yeah, and sometimes we find new people coming in at the Touhou gatherings, especially at Fanime. Like, oh hey, new people, and we just talk, and then it's like, oh, you should join our Discord or join our Facebook, and then they join, and I'm like, yay, more people, fresh meat.
I don't know if anybody here is familiar, but the very first area where we actually organized the first Bayhou meet was Pulshmer on their image board. Yeah,
What is that? I've never heard of it.
That's a piece of internet history.
Yeah, it really is. It's totally dead. But
How long ago is this?
2010.
7
Wow.
years
yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
it's like forever in internet years.
Absolutely.
So that was pretty much like what marked the start of Bayhou.
Yeah, and I looked through DeviantArt and cosplay.com to see if I could bump into any other people that might have cosplayed at Fanime, and I happened to bump into a couple of them, and I talked to them, and they seemed really excited to give Bayhou a chance. So there has been a cosplay component baked into it, even though we haven't really done a whole lot of cosplay things. It's always kind of been in our history.
Although
I
we
mean,
did
in
do-
just the
we did
in just like the
do-
general Toho sense, yeah. Everyone cosplays really. It's
What?
pretty common in a lot of
Okay.
Toho circle gatherings and
Yeah.
things like that happen in
Not
Japan.
Not everyone. Actually.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
I
not everyone, but you know.
like I don't cosplay and probably not going to anytime soon. But I can see why like people like it. It's just me personally. I'm not gonna spend my money doing that.
I can't imagine you in a Suwako cosplay at all.
Me?
I was in a
I
Suwako
totally
cosplay.
I remember that. I remember that.
Although it was kind of creepy sometimes. My hat, the hot glue kind of came undone on the eyes of Pionta. And when I started jumping, the eyes would wiggle.
You use crazy glue, not hot glue.
Nah, you gotta use magnets on their hat, right, Magus?
Okay. To explain about the magnet hats, I have some figures, and I have literally bought a $150 figure just because it's got a magnetic hat. You can take off the hat of the figure, and it's magnetic. You don't use a peg or anything. It's just a magnet. There's a like metal in the head, so it just like magnetically sticks to the hat, and it's fun playing around with the magnetic hat, yo.
Did you do funny tricks with it at least?
Yeah.
Yes.
Put Vermilia's hat on Suwako.
Oh wait,
and
you can just throw the figure at the refrigerator.
No,
What?
it's 100 No, it's the hat is magnetic, not the figure.
If you do that three times,
He only bought the figure for the hat. That's all he cared about.
You need
What,
to
you
do this
need-
for a lot of Touhou hats then.
I feel like
Anyways.
there's a lot of Figmas you could just buy because they have cool outfits, but you hate the character, but you want their accessories.
We need to make a like Touhou camera. Oh, we did that one time. This
Touhou
was
what?
back in SoCal, in Southern
SoCal?
California. There's a guy who named Lucas who organizes the SoCal Touhou stuff, but I decided that we put all of our cosplay pieces, like props, hats, and whatsoever, and we put it all together to make a Touhou Overlord.
No,
It was
God.
a terrible chimera, but it's okay.
Wait, there's a Toho group in SoCal?
It's very small. It's not very organized. It's just this one guy doing just a Touhou picnic only once a year. Not as organized as us, though.
There's a lot of room
I
for
want in on
growth.
this though.
Although they really miss me, though, apparently.
Moves. Join it and go make it better. Hey,
Yeah, I'll make it better.
Moves is in
Make
SoCal.
SoCal
Have the
great
time to make
again.
things better. Anyway, so you guys have been in Bayhou for what seems like a really long time. Have you made any sort of connections that's helped you in your outside life at all? Nothing like that,
You talk.
or just like people you met, or friends you've made?
I mean, I
that,
made a lot of friends through Bayhou. It is given to me another social circle outside. People I've known for a very long time outside. And kind of the reason I got into Touhou, was exposed to Touhou in the first place, because hardcore players. So this has given me another friend circle outside my main friend circle. And outside my artist friend circle that I go to cons with and help themselves at Artist Allies.
I'm sort of a shy person, so I would say that Bayhou is kind of my main circle right now. Not only because I'm shy, but also because I actually haven't been in California for all that long. I moved to California about 5.5 years ago. I used to live in Canada.
So you just moved here because of work?
Yeah. I mentioned a bit ago that I work for Google, and what happened was I was working for a startup in Waterloo, Ontario, and then Google decided to buy that company. So I ended up moving to California to work for Google. But because of that, I needed to make new friends, and I got into Touhou through the FanimeCon fan panel, as I mentioned. And so I had this new interest that I was really getting obsessed with, and I thought maybe I could make friends if I helped to build the community and have like a meetup group for people who like Touhou. And so that's kind of how I joined up and started to help more with organizing things. And so because of that, I feel like Bayhou really is an important circle of friends to me.
Yeah. I mean, moving to any new city, I'd assume making new friends is pretty hard.
I think for me, I guess a lot of Bayhou people are actually part of Google or doing computer science. And as a computer science engineering major myself, I usually ask some of these people in the group for any tips for like practice or exercise. It's actually pretty helpful, especially.
Oh, so you're in college right now?
Yeah, I'm in college right now. Much suffering. Rest in pieces.
Most people.
I'm a computer science major myself.
Hey, high five! Imaginary high five!
So, speaking of that panel you guys are doing at Fanime, what do you have planned for it?
So we actually have, I think, 2 of them. One is a general one that's sort of aimed just towards Touhou in general. What's going on recently?
What happened to the what the heck is Touhou anymore?
I got in contact with the person who does that panel and asked him for the materials so that we could take over that general what the heck is Touhou panel from here on. And then the second one is sort of an idea that I came up with, which is that I think that at this point there is a unique opportunity to talk about Touhou fandom in the West, because we've been seeing a lot more things happen around Touhou officially in the West. We've been seeing games coming out. We've been seeing Zun in the West at 2 conventions at this point. And so there's a lot happening right now. And there's also lots of great projects that are coming out of Western creators. There's the Danmaku card game. There's projects that James is involved with, Fantasy Crescendo. So there's a lot that we could talk about that is specifically creativity in the Touhou community in the West. So that's the other idea that we might try to run with.
Do you guys at Bayhou have any sort of Touhou fan game or doujin creators like James?
I sort of asked around for a few people, got a few responses, but nothing overly serious.
I really want to do something, but I don't have the skill set yet. I want to make
cosplay is something.
It is.
James is
She
mostly
does
that.
quite well.
Yeah, I do cosplay, but besides that, with my computer science major, I want to make some games too. Sorry, James, but I want to join, but no skill set. What is
I think we're at this
C#?
point we're just taking anyone who's just willing to learn.
Yeah.
Oh, I might be able to join that because I'm willing to learn. I learned a little bit of C# at least.
Oh, okay. That's a good start. That's better off than me.
Yay!
So, Horai Tea House does have monthly progress meetings on Saturdays at, what was it, 3 in the afternoon?
3 p.m. PST, yes.
Yeah, on the first Saturday of every month. So if you want to join that, that'll be great.
So,
I am on
next
your
Saturday,
channel, so
Oh,
I am on your channel, so it
Yeah.
should be fine. I'll probably reach out more. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to figure out Unity myself. It's pretty challenging. Not gonna lie.
It's a hard
Okay,
fun.
at least you're not programming for your cosplays. Rest in
Oh, I've
pieces.
actually done that
Wait,
before.
What?
Please tell me more. What do you
Oh.
mean programming for your
Even
cosplay?
before
So
she
I'm
did,
having
like-
a couple of cosplays. One of them, if you know Athena Sykes from Ace Attorney,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she has a little necklace that kind of changes according to her mood.
Yeah.
So I'm doing Arduino, or I think I'm using Arduino to use via Bluetooth, use my app to change the colors, and probably do sound saying "you're a moron" or something. But it's just programming Bluetooth, change color, make angry.
You change the
And-
face.
Yeah, change face. And then my other one, I was trying to keep this a surprise, but it's okay. I'm trying to do a steampunk, do my own design of steampunk flandre. So the wings, I'm going to make them mechanical, and I kind of want to make them move somehow in specific ways. So that requires a little bit of programming.
Good
Wow.
stuff.
Rest in pieces.
That'll make a lot of Toho fans very conflicted because it's not canon, but it's also really impressive.
Rest in pieces. I hope my brain says, "Oh, programming is fine." No.
Oh yeah, James, didn't you do something like that with Marisa's Mini Hakuro?
Yeah, I turned Marissa's Mini Hakero into a loudspeaker.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm sorry I borrowed it for that Seija
Oh,
spin
it was
thingy.
perfect for what it was.
Seija spin thingy.
I still can't find that photo.
Oh, there's no photo of it.
I
couldn't find
know.
it. So sad.
I mean, I took photos throughout that entire gathering. I've just been falling behind on processing my photos in Lightroom. So
Process them.
maybe one day when I finally dig my computer out of storage from the move I recently did, I can actually put some stuff up.
I need Hina and Seija to keep spinning Reimu. Although I felt really bad for Reimu, though. She felt
Are you
really
doing
sick.
like analog pictures or something?
No, it's digital photography, but I like to do some amount of post-processing in Lightroom just to fix
Oh,
colors, white
Lightroom-
balance, etc.
A program?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
program by Adobe. It's a sort of lightweight photo editing program for doing some common things that is more oriented towards photographers' workflow.
It's really great, actually. Super easy to learn.
I thought you were talking about like an actual Lightroom and
Printed out.
people still use film these days.
So over the course of the years, you guys have managed to really beef up a lot of what you've done with the community and a lot of your events that you do. How would anyone who wants to start a community or has already set up a community expand like you guys have done?
I think I can speak to this well. I don't know, shoot, if you had anything you wanted to say first, because you started Bayhou.
I would like you to say what you want, and then I will interject accordingly.
Okay. So I think that a lot of the tips that I could give about setting up a community like Bayhou also kind of apply to setting up a community about any other thing. But it's just a little bit difficult because Touhou is a niche interest. But to start with, I think you need a circle of friends. You need something to seed the community with. And so if you don't have those people already, you kind of have to go out and find them. One way to do that is to get involved in your local convention scene. Some of the people who I sort of recruited into Bayhou myself are actually people who I met while doing cosplay photography of Touhou cosplayers, both at AnimeCon and also at other cosplay gatherings happening in the area. So that was one way to get people into the fold. Another way is to look at meetup groups about anime or video games and see if you can make new friends there who are also into Touhou. One person who recently joined the group, who actually organizes some small dinner events for us, is somebody I actually met at a different anime meetup group. And I kind of brought him into the fold because I found out that he likes Touhou. And we recruited him last year at Fanime, basically. So online communities are also a good way to get people. And we've actually been able to bring a couple new people in just by posting about our events on our Touhou, or even Maidens of the Kaleidoscope every once in a while. So that's another way to go if you have trouble finding people locally. Whatever methods you use, once you have that sort of initial circle of people,
We kidnap them.
you yes, drag them kicking and screaming.
Yes.
But then you have to start bringing in more people, right? And it's a little bit difficult at first because when you have a small group, you kind of have to seek out people individually and bring them in order to grow the group. We've come to a point where every time that we talk about ourselves during the Touhou cosplay gathering at Fanime, we actually get a small bump in numbers. So we're sort of getting close to a point of critical mass where we can grow more organically without having to actively seek people out all the time. But it's definitely going to be a grind. So be prepared for that. Another
Never
good tip
forget
is
Georgina.
to keep people engaged between meetups. The Facebook group, when I joined it, was very, very quiet. The only thing that was really on there was postings of events. But then I started just posting random Touhou-related things in there, and people started to engage with it. And although it took me a while, and it was a conscious effort, like I was actually at one point saying, every day I got to post something to the Bayhou Facebook group. And I was the only person posting there for a long while. But eventually, other people started to post things in there, and then it really helped. Our Discord server also really helped to keep people engaged between meetups as well, because people can just come in and chat with each other at any time.
Now I see Alex posting like every day or two.
Yeah, he likes to post really odd
Yeah.
things.
She does.
The last thing I will say is that you should at some point start to encourage your regular active members to get directly involved in planning the kinds of events that they want to see. I was talking just a bit ago about my friend who joined and who organizes the small dinner events for us now. And that was a good thing for us because it allowed us to get even more small meetups of our group in between the main sort of monthly things that we organize. It kind of serves two purposes. One, it deepens the relationship of those members to the group because they're actually getting involved and invested in your community building. But also, it kind of lightens your own burden because planning fun outings for a large group of people on a regular basis is more exhausting than you might think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Shoot, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I think it's really important to have at least one person that's constantly thinking about Bayhou in the background and thinking about ideas and stuff of that nature. That's kind of my, I've considered over the years thinking about kind of seeding my role, honestly, a bit more, but it's still very imperative that I'm actively thinking about Bayhou's group and what we could do event-wise and what we could do better. I have some pet projects that have never gone anywhere, or Instagram in particular, I would like to see beefed up. Yes, I know.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
It's
I think.
not exactly your fault. Yeah, anyway, enough thinking about that. So you really need someone that's just willing to take the plunge, ultimately. I started the community with very few people. I had a friend of ours who doesn't do Bayhou anymore. And that's the only person I basically knew in the Touhou at the time outside my other friend circle. And we just started a Pulshimer, and I went on DA and happy coincidences and bumped into some cosplayers I really saw that I really liked their cosplay, and I talked to them a bit over, and they seemed excited, and we got it rolling. And it's been a long road, and it's been an iterative process. We used to do events seasonally, not monthly, and we've grown a lot, and we've done a lot better job of organizing and getting people engaged and so forth. So, but you really need someone that's willing to take the plunge.
Right. To add to what Shoot just said, actually, I think it's also about, as you grow, it's about bringing in a good team of people to help you organize things as well, because there eventually comes to a point where it's just too much work for one person to do. And so because we have a couple of people, myself and PDAC, and a couple of other people who are doing the work of posting events and following up with people and pushing for people to confirm their RSVPs and so on, that frees up Shoot to think further into the future and sort of keep things on track from a higher level. If it were a smaller community, or if it were only sort of one person running things, then that person would kind of have to do both things at once. They would have to be sort of holding the vision of the community in their head while also doing the sort of day-to-day or week-to-week work of actually building the community and reaching out to people and so on.
And I'm not a fan of social media, so I was never very well suited to that task.
Thankfully, I was very, very well suited to social media. And that was, I think, sort of my main contribution to Bayhou project, is that I was a person who was very familiar with social media marketing from previous work experience. And I kind of heavily applied that to building Bayhou as a community.
Yeah, it just seems like a huge group effort that requires a lot of micromanagement.
And to which I have to say, I'm pretty thankful for it, because the active level of just straight up engagement, both at events, prior to events, and in between them, is quite substantial. Like, I'm saying this as someone who was previously part of pretty much the largest Touhou group in the southeastern United States. I think they're called Bayhou. While they were on like a similar size and scale, the big issue with them was the only events they did were at cons, and there was very little direct community engagement. And I gotta say, joining this group afterward was quite enlightening. Like, it was quite the eye-opening experience. Following that, yeah.
We should give you a hug.
That makes me really happy to hear. These testimonials.
That makes me very happy to hear as well. I think that my guiding philosophy in sort of contributing to and building up Bayhou is that I wanted Bayhou Project to be the Touhou fan meetup group that I wish existed when I moved to California. So I'm really glad to hear that it was able to be that for you, James.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all getting so sentimental now.
You need more hugs.
Hugs.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to follow Bayhou and Bayhou's activities, you guys can go to their Facebook page, which I'll be posting in the description of whenever I upload it to SoundCloud. And anything we've talked about, like the memes or PDAX Photoshops, I'll probably put in the description too. So if you guys want to check those out, that'd be great.
You probably should post their Discord as well, right?
Yep.
Would that be okay?
Yeah, we can get you an instant invite link. I think that would be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any issues with that myself.
Want me to
Right,
send
great.
you all
Just-
175 John Photoshops?
What?
Oh yeah, just
Prepare
like
yourself.
put
Oh
it in a
boy.
folder.
I have it in a folder.
Wow.
They're quite...
And yeah, that's pretty much all that we have for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate all the feedback we've been getting from you guys. We'll be trying to release another podcast by next month, hopefully around early May. So yeah, thanks for listening. This has been Totally Touhou.